Travis, what do you think about the way Arsenal started like this season?
The way Arsenal have started this season, it
Have
was.
have you been convinced?
It's just Arsenal, isn't it? It's just so Arsenal. Like the West Ham game, I remember saying in the match reaction, I felt like I was being biased, but it turns out to be true. It was us. It was our performance. The reason why that happened. Like West Ham, yeah, they came with a game plan. We had no game plan. We had no structure. We thought we could turn up and win that day, and we got beat. It was a London derby. We just thought we just turn up. No, they came to win. That was our fault. Next game against Palace, I thought we played pretty well, and we got the 3 points. Turned into a struggle, but it's just Arsenal.
Are you
It's just
expecting
Arsenal.
are you expecting Arsenal to do anything on before the deadline? And do you think it's necessary?
I'm not expecting anything. I kind of avoid a lot of the transfer rumors. I don't really follow it. I don't expect anything. I think it's I think it's necessary to get cover Coquelin in and a world class striker in. I don't expect anything, but I think with a bank full of money and holes in the squad, I think that's criminal to not sort it out. But I expected it. I expected it.
That's a
I
disgrace, mate.
think I know it's a disgrace. I think the mentality as a club is just it's
Imagine
just
Real Madrid.
so bad.
Imagine Real Madrid have a transfer budget of like 80 million, 100 million, and they don't fill the holes in their squad. Is that ever going to happen? Imagine Barcelona had holes in their squad and they didn't, and they had a budget of like 100 million and didn't fill the squad. That's just not.
I f-
That's just not a possibility.
I feel like Arsenal fans. I feel, I feel like a lot of Arsenal fans do not realize how massive of a club we are. We're a huge club, huge fan base, great stadium, biggest club in London. Like we should be competing every season, but there seems to me to be a lot of people at the club and a lot of fans who follow the club who are satisfied with this whole third place, fourth place, like Groundhog Day. Let's try and get top four. Let's battle with Spurs, Liverpool. No, we should be knocking the
Realistically, yeah.
door, going for titles, going for European titles. We're Arsenal, and I think we've been brainwashed into accepting mediocrity.
Like
But
how realistically can like Arsene Wenger be there, see Man United getting stronger, see Man City flying out of the blocks, getting stronger financially in the transfer market, see Chelsea making strong signings in the transfer market. Arsenal come third last year. He makes one signing which I thought was not that much of a progression on Ospina anyway, and think that it's going to make any difference next season. Like what's realistically going to change? Like what can change from you coming third but not making any additions, but every other team around you progresses in the transfer
I'm
market?
th- I'm
It's just
thinking
logic.
the
It's just
only
like
thing you could be I'm thinking the only thing you could be thinking is he's looking at every other club, thinking, okay, United are going for a transitional period. Man City, they've made a few signings, they've got a bed in. Like I'm thinking maybe he thinks the chemistry is a bit higher at Arsenal now because we've had a similar squad for the last two, 3 seasons. And don't get me wrong, I do really like this squad. In fact, this squad's got huge potential. It's just missing that final
have
one or
Arsenal
two
ever been ready?
signings.
Like in the last 10 years, have Arsenal ever been ready for a season without having holes in the squad in their team? I don't think they've ever been ready. Like since 2005.
Probably right.
That's probably the last
Probably
time
right.
Arsenal, where you could look at the team before the season started and go, "Yo, that team could like, yeah, I can't see anything really missing there, man." Like,
Seb, like, I'm quite interested in what you think as a Man United fan, looking at the Arsenal situation, like this season. Like, what are they missing? What are you surprised they haven't done? What do you expect from them?
I feel like from the outside looking in, Wenger's just thinking like, okay, last season we had a good squad there, but injuries ruined the consistency. So maybe he's not buying anyone with the hope that like he can get that consistency through lack of injuries through the season. Um, but like you were saying in one of our last videos, man, you're missing a striker. It's the most important thing. Um, Coquelin we saw on the weekend racking up all those tackles. Yellow card should have got sent off. After that suspension, who do you put in to replace him? It's the same style of player. Like
I don't think last season it was injuries, you know, because last season we did have a few, but like there was always adequate cover because our midfield is so competitive. Like, so whenever like Ox got injured, we like Brzezinski was there and he put in a good performance. Every time like Brzezinski got injured or Wilshere got injured, someone was ready to step up. Like Ramsey, like everyone was like gunning for their place. So I don't think there was last season like, don't get me wrong, a lot of previous seasons before that, injuries have just completely crippled the team in it from us progressing. But I think last season, I don't think injuries was the main thing. So it's like I feel like Arsenal have reached a point where it's like, okay, it's not injuries are not a crisis at the moment. They might be bad. We probably still get a lot. It's probably still one of the worst in the league, our injury list every season. But it's not a crisis. Like it's been a crisis at Arsenal plenty of times. It's like it's not a crisis. So why don't you build on that? And I just don't know why Wenger just does not want to build on it. Well,
I think you'll be up there, man. I do think you will fight for the title. That's my honest opinion.
we got deadline day. I think Arsenal are sitting on a transfer kitty of probably around 50 to 70 million. They got a budget there, which obviously we know they're not going to spend. But I reckon that there's obviously they're looking for quality more than anything. But if they don't do that, they're under a lot of pressure, man, because everyone will be like, well, why didn't you had the whole transfer window to progress?
Yeah.
And you didn't do anything. They're under a heap of pressure to do something because everyone's watching, man. Like,
I am aware that it's not FIFA. I'm aware that you can't just go, I want Karim Benzema. Here is 50 million. There, purchase done. Like, I'm aware it doesn't work like that. Obviously, Madrid are gonna have to replace him. Like, I do know this, but it is we should be competing. Like, the whole reason we moved to the Emirates was to compete. Like, it's very interesting to think we haven't won the title since, like, apparently moving forward to bigger things. Like,
Do you think he's stuck in this viewpoint of like Fergie used to say it a lot that there's not much value for money in terms of transfers out there? Like,
Fergie only started saying that towards the end of his career, man. Before he used to just like Fergie was like a splasher,
Splash.
innit?
Yeah, like the Veron transfer.
It was only the last 2-3 years of Fergie's career when he started like kind of
Really,
adopting that similar approach to Wenger, innit? Before that, man, Fergie was reckless. Not reckless in the transfer market, but I've seen him spend like
a bit more
he's
free.
very
Yeah.
aggressive. Yeah, very aggressive in the transfer
it's
market.
only later on he started saying that. But
I
mm,
think
Do you think he's still stuck in that viewpoint? Because obviously
yeah.
football's different nowadays, man. Like you have to spend the money. You can't try and find these bargains to fight on
thing
Champions.
with, thing with value is it don't really mean anything, innit? Like the value of a player is how important he is to your team. So if a player's
Definitely.
if he's like judged at 20 million, but he's worth 50 million to your team, then it doesn't even matter if you pay 50 million for him. Like because obviously
Yeah.
that's the value of that he's going to bring to the team is worth more than the even if it looks inflated, it's worth more than the price. So value for me, I don't know. Like it's hard to judge. You can't really.
It's
It's
kind
hard
of
to
like
judge value, man.
look at when us going. Oh, I don't even want to go. Take a deep breath before I even mention this. When Arsenal put the 40 million and £1 bid for Suarez, there was no reason why that £1 bid couldn't have been an extra 5 million, 45 million, like, and it would have
Mm,
been worth it. And I think Liverpool would have accepted that. You
mm.
know, I
Yeah,
really think they would have accepted that.
that was just cheeky.
Even it was stupid. Like,
Like
I don't even
Suarez
think it was
is,
cheeky.
if you look at it, yeah, value should be judged on what this player can bring to the team as a business and all that sort of stuff. Because that's how we judge it in this capitalist society. So like Suarez, yeah, his value to Liverpool would be somewhere like in the hundreds of millions. That's how much his actual value would be because of
Yeah,
for TV
100%.
deals, getting Liverpool top four, all that sort of stuff would come up to like something crazy, like hundreds of millions. So even though he might be judged at being worth, I don't know, 60 million, whatever, his actual value is way more to Liverpool. So I think value's hard to judge, man. I say it's all relative. Value's relative. Like, so that's why I
It
wasn't freaking out
it
about
was. It was.
the Man City Raheem Sterling deal because if they value his value at whatever, then that's obviously how much they reckon he could bring to the team, innit?
I guess it's
Yeah.
like De Gea or us now. A lot of people are saying it might be worth keeping him for the extra season, but let him go on a free next season, where like he could potentially be worth that 25 million in terms of getting into the Champions League or whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. That's how you got to look at it, man. Like, if he can get you into the league, then how much is that going to? If he can get you into the Champions League, then how much is that going to bring in to Man United financially? Obviously, they're under a lot of pressure because they got to finish top four for their sponsors, innit? Like the Adidas deal requires them to finish like in the top four and all that sort of stuff for them to get the full amount of the sponsorship deal. So like, because obviously they want Adidas to be on all the TV like channels, like the kit and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, like his value will be way more than how much of Madrid like looking to pay for him this season.
I think 25 mil. We
Yes,
want
his value
25
would be
mil.
way more. Like if you look at points last season that he saved you, like yeah, his value would be like 10 times the value of that deal. So I think value is hard to judge, man. It's all relative. So that's why I don't know why Wenger stresses out so much about the value of players. Like obviously you can't be in the market just splashing stupidly, but you got to judge it. All right, Wenger's career's coming to an end. Yeah, he should be looking at players now that are gonna be able to cement his legacy, not just his legacy, but Arsenal, man. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I think the fans and the team are due some real trophies, man. Like at the end of last season, they said to Alexis Sanchez, um, like, how do you think your first season went? Like, you won a trophy and that. He was like, yeah, it's been good and bad. I was like, I love that answer, man. Because like a lot of other players would have been like, yeah, it's been great. Won the FA Cup, you know, came third, but you know we're gonna go next season. He was like, it's a bit of good, bit of bad. Like it
Yeah.
wasn't an enthusiastic answer, which shows me that he's a winner. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think one thing we have been getting right is we have been bringing in winners over the last couple of seasons. For example, even Welbeck, he's now along with Czech, he's the only one who's won the Premier League in there. We've got Ozil winner, Sanchez winner. Like these are guys. Like there's no like
Sanchez won the Champions League and that La
you know
Liga
what I
and
mean.
stuff.
There's these guys. It's no coincidence that we've started to win things now. These guys have come in. There's no coincidence at all. Like
The thing with Wenger is you can't have players like Ozil, Sanchez, Czech, even even players like Cazorla and that. You can't have them kind of players in your team and not be winning leagues. Like people like Sanchez
yeah.
not winning leagues is it's not going to go down well, man. After like a couple of years, they're the kind of players who need to be winning things.
Cazorla definitely needs to be mentioned in there because he's a winner as well. Don't he wins with Spain? Don't forget all them successful Spanish squads he's been involved in. People always forget like about Cazorla, but yeah, he's not Iniesta, but he's always in the squad. There's a reason for that. Do you know what I mean? Like
If
he's
Cazorla was English, he'd have
um
45,000 caps, mate.
he's got 73 Spain caps. 73 Spain caps. Like it's incredible. It is incredible. He's
Yeah,
30.
man. I think it's a wrap.
That's it.